are more questions than answers. Pictures in my mind but will not show.
Good afternoon, everyone. Please permit me to do a little demonstration for all of us to understand what we're about to do. Please, I would like everyone to stand up. Please. Thank you. All right. Please, 60 years and above, please take a seat. Thank you, sir. All right. We'll say 55 to 60. Please take a seat. 50 to 45. Please sit down. Thank you. 45 to 35. Sit down. All right. Anything below that, please take your seat. All right. Thank you, everyone. And as you can see, we have different generations here represented. And what we have in this room is not different from what is obtainable in our workplace. And this day, it is so because people are retiring later than they should, and even the retirees are entering back into the workforce. So that brings a lot of challenges and issues to management, especially the HR personnel. So this afternoon, we're going to discuss briefly how to overcome those challenges and at the same time maximize productivity with your multi-generational workforce. I must say, it's not something for you to be worried about. It is doable, and we all can do it. I'm only going to share a few tips. I don't know, technical, are we ready? Okay. While we're waiting for them, and a little bit was skipped on my bio, Chief Farmer is an organization, a consultancy firm. We are dedicated to agribusiness, mostly. But if you are in any other aspect, we can take care. And we agreed to do that because talking about this topic, when you get into the agri startups and young organization, you see that what we're about discussing is really, really prevalent there. Okay. While we still wait for them, I'll start. What is the generational diversity? It is a situation where you have a wide range of generations representing the workforce of an organization. And in that same part, there is a school of thought that says that world events actually do play a part in the characters and value system of each generation. The other one says that no, that it's not so, but rather it happens as a man changes and grows within the stage of development that actually informs her or his decision in life. Either way, you cannot question the value system, expectations, aspiration and motivation of a 60-year-old and that of a 25-year-old co-worker. If you look at it, it's going to be different. And if I may ask, I will do as with two people. Please, permit me. Mr. Bankole, please, what is the motivation to work every day?
I believe I can continuously add value to the system, so that's the basic motivation for me.
Please take note. Mr. Jimmy.
To be able to fund my family, to be able to add value to the community, to be able to add value to the organization that I work for, to be able to fend for my family. I think that's one of the main reasons as to why I work.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Jimmy. as you can see, these two individuals have different motive for going to work or even starting a business. And it's the same thing that is applicable to every one of us. In order for us, as L&D professionals, to be able to manage the diverse views in generation, we need to understand our individual perspective. So the slide is up now. Let's go. Next slide, please. All right. The objective of this section is that at the end of it, you should be able to understand what a multi-generational diversity means, and you should be able to point out the benefits as well as the challenges. Then at the end of it, we share tips on how to manage the concept. Next slide. All right, we have, next one. I've talked about the presence of members of different generations making up the employees of an organization. Next. All right, this is what I was trying to point out. And here you have the transitionalists. There are the least in the workforce now, very few of them. But with them, they are known for two things. They are loyal and they are conservative. You go to the baby boomers. The baby boomers are actually on the move. And we'll get to see that. Then you talk about Generation X. Their motive is so different. And when we're going to do our discussions, we'll see that. Then we have the millennials, the entrepreneurs. You have the Gen Z. Gen Z are the erratic people, always changing. And with them, the learn is focused learning for them. And that is why they switch job within the space of 2 years. Next one. So, benefits of having a multi-generational workforce in your system. Number one is the problem-solving abilities. When there is a problem in an organization and a team gathers, the diverse ideas, opinions, and solutions from different generations will guide you to arrive at a definite answer, which is going to help decision making. The next one is multi-perspective. We all see the world, the economic system, the challenges from different viewpoints. So when you have people gathered that share different experiences and as well as have different view about how things should be, then you are sure that you're going to have a concrete solution to that problem. Then learning and mentoring opportunity. It is there. We keep learning each day as L&D professionals, and it is the same thing we do at our workplace. Now there's what is called revised mentoring. Right now, I will teach my dad how to use some of the new applications and also the social media that are coming up. And he, on the other aspect, will teach me how to make decisions, because it is said what an elderly sees while sitting down, the younger man will never see it even while he is standing. And it's true. I think that will suggest why you have the board members most time for organization made up of elderly people. The next one is knowledge transfer and retention. You know, these days the organizations will rather prefer to have their own climb up the stairs up to managerial position, because by doing so, the person will be must have imbibed the culture of that place. And so therefore, it is cheaper for them to groom talent within an organization and allow it grow other than bringing in from an outside. Then unique relationships. You need to, like Mr. Bankole said yesterday, and to some of the things he said, I can relate, because my very few days I spent with NECA and our team during my certification program, it was wonderful. And there was never a problem. So when Mr. Bankole was saying how they gather for retreats, weekend parties, and I can only but imagine how lively that atmosphere is going to be, even over here. You see how some people say, no, I don't talk to people in my age group. I would rather go for the elder people who give me wisdom. So you can see that kind of unique relationship coming up when you have different generations in the workplace. Next, please. All right. These are not the only challenges. In as much as what we've seen is good, there are also challenges. And the biggest of it all is the communication issue. Gen Z will prefer social media. And even with that, most of them will stick to the platform like Twitter, Instagram, WhatsApp, and the rest of it. Someone like my dad would prefer that you come down, irrespective of wherever you are, and tell him what the situation is. My mother will say, call me. So there's this challenge communicating, and it is also applicable in the workforce. Not everyone reads smell. Most people will just see it and they move. So you need to identify what an individual, please take note now, don't focus on the generation now. The individual matters. What is the person's preferred means of communication? You need to do that. That is how you can pass information. And most times it is better it goes direct to the person involved. Because once it leaves me now and goes to Jimmy, I say, Jimmy, please tell the sister sitting next to you, there's going to be a distortion because of it has gone from one medium to the other. So we need to understand our personnel very well individually and also looking out for the threat that person's generation carries. The next one is negative stereotypes. It's a very big one. We believe that people of certain age group are supposed to be allocated this kind of work and this kind of functions, even when the person is not best qualified or experienced enough to handle such roles. So we need to address that as L&D personnel. So, and based on that, you still need to go back to the individual. Ageism is a very big problem that we are all facing. You cannot say, okay, because the person is over 70, so he cannot go to training on the latest technology. And you ask, how many years does he have left to stay with us? So it doesn't work that way. And you say, no, it's for the younger generation, they should go. So it's not like that. It should be all-inclusive. No one should be left behind, just like the topic or the theme of our conference. The next one is expectations. That was why I asked Mr. Bankole and Jimmy. You can see if we go on, we're going to see that we all have different expectations when we are taking on projects, when we are applying for a position, and the rest of it. So we need to understand the expectation of each of your employee as much as possible. I know what I want. For me, dressing up like Jimmy is a big challenge. So you're not going to see me in the bank. Seriously, I tell you the truth. Do you understand? And I'm also someone that enjoys my time. I would like to allocate my own time and not someone fixing things for me with my own time, knowing fully well that we have 24 hours each, and this moment is gone. So my freedom is good for me. What is your own? What is that of your employee? You need to understand this to tackle this problem. Next. Then how then do we manage these challenges? And we have seen the benefit and we have seen the challenges. So there are a few of them that you can say. Number one is we have to work on the employee's value proposition. That is the guiding principle for everybody. Once you understand that, then you are good to go. What do they value most? I'll go back to Gen Z because I'm closer to them, and these guys are not there for you. You always need something new. Once it's not new, they are no longer there with you. So how do you build that culture within the workplace to also make sure that something new is presented to Gen Z? Then you have Gen X. Their own is work and life balance. How do you create that for your system? Work and life. You need to balance it. Then you have the millennials as well. Those are looking for retirement. I am there. And most of us right now, if you talk about some kind of thing, we are going to dodge. You know why? We don't have enough savings. Yeah, true. Not thanks to the fact that as we started seeing something little, inflation is hitting on every one of us. So our savings or whatever we have is gradually depleted. So there are some things that you call us to take on now. We don't want we are still after money. We are still chasing it. So you need to understand that. Then you need to fine-tune the hiring process. Fine-tuning means is that, like, if you see some job placement now, most of them have actually learned from it. The age bracket is taken off, and also the years of experience. These two things are the most reason why some people hire wrongly. Because in the African society, okay, let me go back to Nigeria, please. Let me go back to Nigeria. Most people that are freshly out of school do not even realize that they have the experience being demanded of them. While you were in school, you did some projects together with your lecturers and the rest of it. But freshly out of school, this is what I'm talking about. NECA can relate. 5 years experience post NYSC. And NYSC is a government mandated program for every new school leaver. You have to spend 1 year with the federal government. And they're going to say 5 years post, that is 6 years after school. And at the same time, you should not be more than 24 years old. So, looking at that now, I don't want to go into what is happening in Nigeria, but from your own country, do the mathematics and see if is that actually obtainable. So we'll move on. Then you need to cater to different communication styles. I have said about that. Most people will prefer text, most people will prefer email. Some people till now will like you that you write them a letter. So you need to know what an individual likes, what means. There are some people, in the morning is calls, in the afternoon WhatsApp, at night we meet on Twitter. You need to understand this, and you need to design. It's called one for all. One for all. So when you look up, you say, okay, this person, you know the means of communicating. There are some people, because of their family issues, most time, once they get into the office, they're off their phone. So no matter how many times you call or text them, you will not reach them. So you need to understand. That means you need to go and knock on the person's office to be able to get that. So you need to develop that as an L&D personnel. Next one is feedback. You have instituted a program. You've instituted a program in the workplace. You need to collect the feedback, positive one, because everyone loves to be heard. How did it go? How helpful has this been? Next is need to accommodate diverse working style. Mr. Bankole dealt on that yesterday, so I wouldn't want to go. The person wants to work from home or whatever, just make sure that everything is there for the person. Then create learning opportunities. If I do not have the opportunity to learn something from your organization, I'm not coming, honestly. Then the next one is how to combat barriers that we'll talk about. Then after that, you need to nurture an inclusive environment for work. Next one. All right. So these are the ways we can overcome the challenges. Okay, these are the value system that it is general now. All this cuts across all the generations, 7 of it. Each of these generations needs and like feeling respected, being listened to, having opportunity for mentoring, understanding the big picture. We are here today. What are we saying tomorrow? What do you want to be remembered for? Every generation has that value. The next one is you need to receive effective communication. It needs to be clear. What do you want me to do? Everybody loves that. Just tell me. Not like sugarcoating anything. It cuts across all the generations. And at the same time, receiving positive feedback. You've done a job. You submitted a report. Let the person know this work came in late. No, this place is not properly done. Not like it's all fine. So if a report has come to your table, you need to take time to go through it and give a feedback to your employee. Then the next thing is experience exchange of ideas. We need to flow. What do you think? What does she think? And harness everything together. Next one. All right. So I'm concluding. Organizations need to appreciate heterogeneity within homogeneous generational groups instead of treating current or prospective potential employees simply as members of one generation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Francis.
There are more